What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to another video. So if you have clicked on this video, you are interested in the visual art form of filmmaking, and you may be wondering and questioning, how do you make your first film? Where do you get started? We're going to talk about three main key components that you need to get started on your first project. Stay tuned. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's go ahead and jump in and get started. So there are three main components that you really need to have in place when you are getting started on doing your first production, your first short film. One of the very first things that you're going to start with when you're getting ready to bring a project into fruition is an idea. Ding, ding, ding. That's the most obvious answer. You have to start with an idea of some sort. Of course, you may even start with the idea of just knowing that you want to film something and that you want to have a project, but you need to know an idea that a story can evolve. And in that idea, you want to make sure that you have key story components. And that would be a beginning, a middle, and an end. All stories, no matter if they have words or dialogue or not, have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Some other important components that you want to think about when you're fleshing out if this idea is something that can turn into a story is thinking about what the climax of that story is going to be. What is the presenting problem, issue, or concern for your main character? And then the climax, and then a resolve to that problem or some sort of change or twist in your story where there is a resolution to the climax of your story. So those are some important things that you want to think about as you come up with your idea. Seeing if your idea qualifies to be even becoming a story. Once you get that down, you will move on to your script. One thing you need, the number one thing you need is a script, because your script is what tells the actors or yourself what this story is about. It's basically a story written out in a standard format that's used all across Hollywood, and it's a standard format that's used all across the filming industry. So you'll want to start with your research and making sure that you understand what goes where in a script. You're gonna have your dialogue, you're gonna have your action of what the actor is doing. All of those are important components. They tell your cast and your crew, the actors and the people helping you bring this project together, what you're expecting to happen and what you're expecting for that actor to be saying and what you're expecting that actor to be doing in each scene. The next major component that you're going to need as you are working to bring your project to fruition and get started is having a director. Now, this can be yourself if you're doing a smaller project, if you have a friend or if you have a buddy that is creative, that wants to help you bring this story together. Have another person be your director. Your director is a very important component in getting your project on the screen in the way that you'd like it to be. The director has all creative control. They're the ones that have to see the vision in their mind, and they're the ones that have to be able to convey that vision to all the members involved in making that creative visual art form come to life. The director is who's going to bring the aesthetic, the feel, if you want it to feel warm or cold, if it's supposed to be something that's humorous or something that's serious, the way in which stories are told and the style in which it can be told is all going to be from the director's mind and how the director sees it and how the director is going to decide and communicate how things need to be done. They're working with the actors so that the actors understand what is needed and what we're trying to convey. They have to have a really good way of being able to communicate into words and directions the vision that you guys are trying to bring about in this project. So a director has a very key role in your production. Directors are also going to be in charge of the cuts and the way the cameraman is shooting and the direction that the cameraman is shooting. Those are all important aspects as to the feel and other nonverbal cues on what this project is. So the director plays a very pivotal role. They also help the actors understand how to work with the props and the elements and where they are in the grand scheme of the project. So the way that everything interacts together is something that their director is going to be focusing on to help bring the story together. Your last major component is your producer. Your producer is your taskmaster that is going to be here to make sure that what you are wanting to do creatively is actually feasible